Now already we're starting to see this beautiful light hitting these peaks, and that's what we came for. But you have to be careful about that. There's a really important lesson to learn here, and that is you always want to look behind you. You always want to look around to see what else you're missing. When you come up to scenes like this, especially in the Alps, especially when you're on top of these mountains and we have these gorgeous vistas in front of us, if you just look the other direction, you often might get a beautiful view as well. So as we were looking at this scene, we turned around and I saw this in front of me. Now what makes this shot a little unique are a couple of things. One, when we're in the mountains, especially when you're in the Alps and you have these layers and layers and layers, especially when it's late in the afternoon and that sun starts reaching towards that horizon and we get this kind of low angle light, it almost starts to look like a painting, these different layers of the mountains. It looks absolutely stunning. So before anything changes at all, I'm gonna take a picture, as I typically do, and now we're gonna work the scene. The other thing to notice is now we're shooting directly into the sun. Typically we don't want to do that, and it's not like there's a hard and fast rule about this. It's just when we face that ball of burning light, that's the brightest thing in our image. And when we have that in our frame, what that means is everything else, while it exposes for the sun, is going to go dark. The term for that is a silhouette. And sometimes that actually works in our favor to create something more moody, something more dramatic in the image. So let's take a look again, and you're going to notice we're seeing these colors, but we still have this ball of burning light, this bright sun that's kind of blown out in the frame. So how can I fix that, right? How can I take advantage of this scene and still fix that? We can never expose for the sun, it's way too bright. So what else can I do? I'm gonna switch over to my 2x view, and now it's completely out of my frame. The most important part of this image, these layers of mountains and all these different colors that's catching this low angle light of the setting sun, it's all just looking absolutely stunning, and it's making them prominent in my frame. They're making it much larger by switching to my 2x view. So before you do anything else, that is a frame. I absolutely love that. But watch this. I'm gonna go back to my 1x view, and I actually like the composition right in those middle 3 squares. That's where all the drama is. That's where all the action is. Just a little bit outside of it too, just a little bit above and a little bit below. I don't need all that information at the top of my frame, and I certainly don't need all that information on the bottom of my frame. It's just black, it's in silhouette. So what can I do? I'm gonna pre-visualize this, and I'm gonna go to where it says photo, I'm gonna swipe to the left, and where it says 4:3, I'm gonna press 16:9, and then swipe that back over. And right away what you're gonna see is that I just kind of pushed into this image a little bit. I made the middle part of that frame the most prominent part of that frame, and it gave me a slightly wider composition. I like this a lot more, but it's also important to know I'm using the word pre-visualization because it actually is. This is a non-destructive crop. I can always go back out to my wider frame at any time. It's just something to consider. This helps me frame up this scene. So now with this, I'm gonna go ahead and take this image before anything changes again. And this is absolutely beautiful. I still have that sun in that frame. I'm not too concerned, but if I go back to my 2x with this wider view, now I'm really zooming in and really making these mountains and these layers and these different angles of light that's hitting the crest of these peaks, I'm making that much larger in the frame. So I'm gonna take that image too. This might seem like a typical sunset for many people who live here, but from a kid from Long Island, honestly, this is absolutely stunning. This blows my mind. It's hard to even believe that it's real. But how can we improve this a little more, right? We have this frame in front of us, it's absolutely stunning, but after we get that image, we always want to work it a little more. We want to see if we can get a different angle or try something different. So how else can we improve it a little bit? We have this perfect scene in front of us. These colors are gorgeous. The composition's working for us. The light's working for us. Everything about this is working so well, but there might just be one more element that we can include in the frame. So what would that be? So most people don't have a film crew that follows them around the Alps all the time to shoot beautiful landscape locations. I'm gonna take advantage of it in this circumstance. So what I did was I sent a crew member to this ridge, a little bit precarious, but it's all right. We're gonna buy him a beer afterwards, so it's all good. So check this out. Uj, pop up for a second. That is what we were missing right here. So look at that, just that one more added element completely changes the composition. When I first started taking images and I first got into photography, I remember I was taking this National Geographic workshop, and the workshop leader was looking at my images and she said, there's one thing that's missing. And I was like, what are you talking about? What's that one thing that's missing? She goes, people. And I was like, what do you mean, people? I go so far out of my way. I wake up for early sunrise. I stay out till way after sunset. I go out of my way to make sure that there's no people in that frame. I want this like pristine landscape with no one in it. She goes, I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about a person. And having that one person grounds the image, adds one more layer, but it also does this one other thing that you might want to consider adding it into your images as well. That human element, right? People talk about people in the frame, think person in that frame. But that one element, when your viewer looks at this, when you're looking at this right now, it changes the image entirely. It almost helps you identify with that person. You're wondering, what's it like to be that person? What's it like to be standing on that ridge? What's it like to be there in that scene, in that moment, in that light? If you remove that, you just have this gorgeous view. It's an entirely different image, but you have someone in there, it changes it. You identify with that person. You want to know who they are. You want to know what it would like to be that person in that moment. It changes everything. The other thing to consider that this adds is scale. The human form, the human body is the most recognized object in the world. So when we add the human element into it, just a single person into that frame, it helps us truly understand that scale in front of us. This made for an absolutely stunning image, something that we didn't anticipate, something that we didn't expect at all. But that's the joy of this, that's the fun of this. That's why I love shooting with the phone so much. It just allows us to move around. It allows us to be fluid. It allows us to be creative and work with that light and take advantage of all these amazing opportunities without being stuck in just one spot on a tripod, looking at the view that we expect. We miss all these other opportunities. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna wait for this drama to play out. And I mean drama, there are clouds rolling in that background. They're heading our way. We don't know if this is still gonna work out in our favor, but that's the fun of it. That's why we're here. We're gonna see how this is all gonna work out. We're gonna try and get as many angles as I can, and whatever happens, we're gonna work with it. We're gonna work the environment. We're gonna try and get as many compositions as we can, and we're gonna be as prepared as possible. So if, and I mean if that light hits, we're gonna be set up in a spot that's gonna allow us to capture all that drama playing out in this entire incredible view that's in front of me. Let's see what happens.